We're very fortunate to have Frédéric Trojani from Gemalto on Interpol World Television. Frédéric, welcome. What brings Gemalto back to Interpol World?
In fact, as you may know, we acquired a company in the biometric space, Cogent, from 3M a couple of months ago. And now we are even much more in the biometric worlds, in the security at border, and that's why, in fact, I think it's important that Gemalto is present at this Interpol World event.
Now, identity theft is a growing business. Where do you see the threats from in the future, and how are we going to counter them?
Yeah, if you can call that a business, but it's true that it's growing. It's really reflected in the index we are publishing at Gemalto. That's the breach level index we are publishing every year on a regular basis, and which has increased very significantly between 2015 and 2016 by close to 90%. Many breaches, more than 1.7 billion of records which has been compromised, and 60% of these breaches are identity theft. And the consequences of this identity breach are very significant in terms of security, national security, also significant in terms of financial impact. National security, you hear quite often the police forces which are saying that an identity document and an identity is more important than a weapon for a terrorist. So we see the importance of secure identity. And the financial impact also is very significant of identity theft. There are several studies, one made by the BMI, the Ministry of Interior of Germany, showing that each identity theft is around 50 to 60,000 euro, so significant impact, and generally it's linked to, in fact, fraud to benefits. So it's important that government fight against this identity theft, identity fraud. So we have seen in the physical world a significant improvement on the security in the document. Now the electronic passport is much more secure than the previous generation of passport, and more than 120 countries now are issuing electronic passports, so much more secure, but still more than 70 countries which have to migrate to this high security documents. And still a lot of documents which are of low quality, of low security, in the identity space, driving license. So there is a need to continue to roll out very high secure document to increase the security.
Now, Europe is having a bit of an identity crisis with the refugee problem that's coming in from the Middle East. Is there anything that Gemalto can do to try and help governments make it more secure or better?
Yeah, I will in fact answer with two points. First one is, yes, the European situation, and it's true that during the last 2 years a lot of migrants, in fact, came to Europe, 2.4 million, so it's quite a lot, and we have seen also some consequences which have been very painful for Europe in terms of terrorism attacks. So it's extremely important that Europe works in improving the way they do the border management, border control. And the European Union has already approved several large projects to strengthen the border control, like the smart border package, like the entry-exit system, like the ETIAS system, which is the equivalent of the ESTA system for the US. So all these systems will be deployed in the next years, and Gemalto is surely contributing to these different systems, leveraging biometrics, leveraging identity. And identity, once again, is really at the center of this problematic, because at border control, the challenge is in a few seconds to identify if the asylum seeker or if the travelers is a bona fide travelers, it's a bona fide asylum seekers, or if it's a potential terrorist. So, and you have a few seconds to do that. So technology can bring a lot in this space to help and support government in doing this right, I would say, filtering of people, and Gemalto is providing solutions to help the government. One example is the Eurodac database, which has been provided by Gemalto already several years ago, and which is helping a lot the government in identifying the asylum seeker, managing their identity in a very reliable way. And this database is used by close to 32 countries in Europe, so the EU member states plus Norway, plus Liechtenstein, Switzerland, and I think another country I'm forgetting. But so this is an important topic, and Europe needs to continue to work on in order to improve, in fact, yes, the border crossing.
And what are the key messages that you're trying to get out to the Congress members at Interpol World who are coming around and looking at your solutions?
I think this event, Interpol World, is really becoming a flagship event in the space of security, border security, fight against crime, surveillance. So, it is an opportunity to meet a lot of government people, also a lot of experts in the domain. New technology is appearing on a regular basis, helping the government, and it's important to understand the mega trends, the challenge of the customers, what the technology can bring to be able to provide the best solutions for the government for an overall safer world.
So what are the new technologies that we should be looking out for in the future?
I will name several of them. First, in terms of mobility. Everybody wants to do everything from its mobile now. So that's also something we have to integrate in the identity management, identity space. And we are working with, just take an example, in the US. As you may know, we provide a driving license in several states in the US. And we are working with the NIST, the National Institute of Standards and Technology, and several states to develop a concept of a digital driving license. So it's a companion of the existing driving license, which will bring more services to the drivers and also to the DMVs, really trying to put together at the same time security and convenience, because quite often we say that if it's too secure, it's very complex to use, and if it's too convenient, it's not secure. So mobility and security can live together, and that's why we are working on, for example, in the US, to provide at the same time a secure and easy solution to use for mobile driving license.
Frédéric, it's been a real pleasure talking to you and getting to understand more about what Gemalto are bringing here. Thank you very much indeed for giving some of your time for Interpol World Television.
Thank you very much. Thank you.